So there's separate communities with Yudheshwaris in them. But the strange thing is that Lalita and Vishaka, even though they are qualified, they do not do the work of Yudheshwari.
श्रीमती राधिका के रूप गुण भावों के प्रति इतनी मुक्त होती है कि वे अपने को स्वतंत्र युद्धेश्वरी नहीं कहलाते।
So they don't call themselves independent Yudheshwari. So this is the bhav they are showing. The mood that they are showing. So Radhaji herself is Yudheshwari. So Swapaksha, Vipaksha. Swapaksha, Vipaksha, Tatashta. So these are all discussed. But Tatashta, no Sakhi is Tatashta, only for a short time. So Swapaksha, Vipaksha, Tatashta. But in there's a, so Vipaksh, so in Vipaksh the Sakhi is Tatashta, but in Vipaksh Swapaksh is Surapaksh. So Radhaji is Sakhi. If she's sitting in Jindravali's camp, she will become Tatashta. So what does Tatashta mean? Tatashta means I have no interest in whatever they're saying. Let them say what they're saying. So it's not accepting their conception, just listening to their conception, but not accepting it. Just listening. We don't oppose or anything. So this is just what they're saying. This is there. Why should I actually argue or oppose what they are saying? It's their actual gathering. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying in their Granth. So in Vipaksh, the Sakhi is Tatashta, and in Swapaksh she is Surapa. So Radhaji's side is called Swapaksh. So Radhaji is Yudheshwari, and that's where the Sakhi is called Yudheshwari. Radhaji is Yudheshwari. And who's in Vipaksh? Who's sitting there? Chandravali is sitting there. Actually, Chandravali, she's actually not qualified to act the role of Vipaksh. Because the moods, she does not have these high moods. Chandravali, Sneha, Man, Pranay, Rag, Anurag, Bhav, Mahabhav, Rura, Adirura, Mohan, Madanakya, Mahabhav. This Madanakya, Mahabhav is only present in Radhaji, not even in Lalita or Vishaka. So Lalita and Vishaka are not going against Radhaji, Vipaksh. So the party should be strong. So if the party is not strong, so if the parties are strong, then you will enjoy watching them compete. Here, in Vipaksh it can be seen, Chandravali is there. Why is she there? Because Yogamaya is so that even though they are qualified, they are not willing to sit against Radhaji. So Lalita and Vishaka, they actually reach to Mohan, So Chandravali does not even reach the moods of Mohan. She's about 2 degrees below. So how would Chandravali be sitting opposing Radhaji in Vipaksh? So even though Lalita and Vishakha are qualified, if they are not Vipaksh, so the taste will not manifest of. So that's why Yogamaya, if nobody is there in the opposite party, those moods will not manifest. So that's why Yogamaya arranged that Chandravali is there. So Chandravali knows that she's not actually qualified so to be against Radharani. Everybody knows their own qualification.
दोनों उभय में अर्थात क्या बोले श्रीमती राधिका चंद्रावली में राधा जी की सर्वोत्तमता जो है प्रकाशित हो रहा है.
So in this, Radhaji's glories are being manifest, that she is topmost. So here, Tatashta, in Vipaksh, she's Tatashta. When the Sakhi is there, Radhaji is Sakhi. And in Swapaksh, she is Swapaksh.
So
they have to stay Tatashta, just as Chandravali's Sakhi comes to Radhaji's party, community. Just as in. So there's in the Katha it can be heard that Chandravali's Sakhi, she is actually glorifying Chandravali, how beautiful she is and how just glorifying her. So listening to Chandravali's her qualities, Radhaji's Sakhi is just thinking, what is she saying? So Chandravali Sakhi is saying, when Chandravali takes darshan of Krishna, from Krishna's lotus feet to the effulgence of his toenails all the way to his lotus base, she takes darshan of Krishna and thinks how beautiful he is. So Chandravali, when she sees Krishna, how does she take? She sees him from his lotus feet all the way to his lotus base. All at once, she sees all his limbs. Okay. So sometimes Radhaji's Sakhi is asking, Chandravali Sakhi is asking, so what's your, about, and they're like, what do you think of this? And they're like, yes, it's very beautiful that your Sakhi Chandravali is seeing Krishna from his lotus feet all the way to his lotus face, all at once. But our Radhaji, wherever she sets eyes on Krishna's limbs, any part, she cannot, her gaze is fixed there. So what is this meaning of this? It depends on anuraga, which is deep attachment. So that means we're not having deep attachment to one part. So the symptoms of anuraga are, so the ordinary symptoms are, so when Krishna is in his ever fresh, youthful form, then it's like everything's new every time. So in the same way, anurag is said to be that you're
दर्शन
never
करके भी तृप्त नहीं हो रहा है,
satisfied.
और भी दर्शन
Darshana
करते, और भी
atriptata.
दर्शन करते रहे।
You want to keep
जिसके लिए
seeing
सनातन
Krishna.
गोस्वामी पाद विरल भागवतमृत
So,
ग्रंथ में
Shri Sanatana
उदाहरण दे
Goswami
रहे हैं।
Pad
क्या
says in
बोलते हैं?
Brihad
बोले किसी के जब
Bhagavatamritam.
सन्निपात रोग हो जाता है,
So,
एक
just
प्रकार
as
की
there's a
बुखार है,
Sandipa
जिसको कहते हैं सन्निपात
fever,
रोग, सनातन गोस्वामी लिखते हैं।
Sanatana Goswami
उस
says,
रोग में क्या होता है
so
कि
what
बहुत प्यास
happens
लगता है,
in this fever, you feel really
बुखार
thirsty.
इतने तेज हो जाता
It's
है,
a very high fever.
बहुत बुखार है, और उस बुखार में तेज वो क्या होता है,
And in that fever,
प्यास लगता है, पानी
you're
पीना,
very,
पानी
very
पीना।
thirsty.
किंतु डॉक्टर कहते हैं
But
इस
the
बुखार
doctor
में उसको पानी
says,
पिला दिया तो रोगी,
if you give this person water
किंतु यहाँ पर
with
रोगी
this fever,
छटपटा
they will
रही,
die. But that
कहते मुझे
person
पानी ग्लास गला दो।
is really
तब उसको क्या करना पड़ता
suffering,
है,
saying, oh, I really want
छोटी सी
water.
चामच में 2 बूंद जो है जिया में दिया जाता है।
So they put a few drops on the tongue of the person suffering with this fever.
नहीं चार्ज तो किया था तो फुल चार्ज वहां पर की कार्य देखो,
So they're saying,
ये वो भी जब 2 बूंद जब पानी दे देते हैं,
so when they give them a couple of drops of water, the person then is even more thirsty.
यही तो होता है।
That's what happens.
अर्थात कृष्ण दर्शन में
So
इतने
in
आनंद होता है,
Krishna darshan,
और
seeing
कृष्ण
Krishna,
की
there's
प्राप्ति
so
के लिए
much
इतने
bliss.
उत्कंठा हो जाती है।
And then there's so
इसलिए
much
राधा आदि
eagerness to
गोपियों के प्रेम
obtain
के लिए कहा
Krishna.
गया,
That's why
उत्कंठामयी प्रेम कहा गया।
Radha and the gopis,
जो
their
उत्कंठामयी
prem is
प्रेम
called
और दूसरे में नहीं,
Utkantamay Prem. This
चंद्रावली
prem
तो
is not in
पूर्व
anyone
सदा में
else.
वक्त है। यह तक भी
It's not in
सुबह
Chandra.
सुदाम में
It's not in
उत्कंठामयी प्रेम नहीं
Chandravali.
दिखा है।
It's not even in Shrida.
उत्कंठामयी प्रेम है जिस विरह में
Sakha.
साक्षात रूप
So
में
Utkantamay Prem is when
कृष्ण के दर्शन करना चाहते हैं।
they want to obtain Krishna's darshan, seeing
इसलिए
Krishna.
प्रेमी के 3 विभाग में
directly.
विभाजन किया गया है। एक है
So the 3 parts prem is divided into.
गाय बछड़े पशु के जो है कहा
So
जाता
when
है,
the cows,
विवेक
the
शून्य प्रेम कहा जाता है।
animals, their prem is called
सखाओं के
Vivek
प्रेम
Shunya
के
Prem.
बजाय विश्रम्भ प्रेम
The
कहा जाता है।
Sakha's prem is called
और
Vishravan,
राधा आदि
Vishramba
गोपियों के
prem.
प्रेम को कहा जाता है
And Radha and the gopis'
उत्कंठामयी
prem is called Utkantamay prem.
गोपियां कृष्ण प्रेम में तड़प रही है।
So the gopis are really
संतना देने के
suffering in
लिए
Krishna prem
संतना देने के लिए उद्धव भी आ गए
to appease them.
कि सारी चेष्टा व्यर्थ हो गया।
Uddhav came,
फिर जब
but
कृष्ण जब
all his
द्वारिकापुरी में रहने लगे,
endeavors were wasted.
उस समय
So
बलदेव
Krishna
प्रभु बार-बार कृष्ण के कहने लगे,
was in Dwarika. Then
एक बार
Baldev Prabhu
ब्रज में जाओ,
said, at least go once
तुम्हारे
to
लिए गोपियां जो
Braj.
तड़प रही है,
The gopis are really
संतरा देकर
suffering and waiting
कृष्ण
for
करे आज
you.
जाए काल जाए काल जाए
And Krishna saying, oh, I'll go tomorrow, I'll go tomorrow.
स्वयं पधारे। तो बलदेव प्रभु
Then Baldev Prabhu came himself
संतरा देने का प्रयास किया, तो उसे
And he
अग्नि
tried
की
to-
विरह अग्नि की और भी बढ़ने लगी।
He tried to appease the
छोटा
gopis,
अग्नि
but
हो,
then
पानी देने से बुझ
the
जाता
fire
है।
of separation
जहाँ पर
increased
बृहद
further.
अग्नि हो,
So if there's a
उसमें
large
पानी
fire
देने से
and you put
और
some
अग्नि क्या
water
होता
on
है?
there,
और भी बढ़
and then
जाता है।
what happens is
ये
that
सबसे
fire
बड़ा उदाहरण
increases. This is the example that's given.
इसलिए गोपियां आदि की जो राधा पक्ष गोपियां आदि की जो विरह की जो अग्नि जो है
So the
इतने
Radha
विशाल है,
gopis,
तो कृष्ण छोड़ करके उसे कहीं निर्वापित नहीं कर सकते।
fire of separation that they feel only Krishna can put that
यदि
out.
प्रश्न उठा सकते हैं।
So why didn't Krishna come himself? We can ask this question.
कृष्ण इसलिए कार्य है जे मैं जाऊं
So Krishna is saying, if I go,
तो गोपियों की
the gopis will,
उन्मादनीयता और भी बढ़ जाएगा।
their anumandanita will
मेरे लिए
increase
भी
even
संभव
more.
नहीं है,
It's not even possible for me.
किंतु जहाँ पर ऐसे स्थितियां होती है,
So when these
और
circumstances are,
राधा जी कार्य है,
then Radhaji is saying,
कि तुम जिस कार्य के लिए गए हो,
so
उस
whatever
कार्य के समापन के
duty,
तुम
whatever you have gone for, you must complete that before you
उस
return.
समापन करके आओ, क्योंकि जिस
So
कर्तव्य
finish
के
what
लिए
you
आप
have
गए हैं,
gone to
वो
do
कर्तव्य
and
की
then
शादीत नहीं हुआ,
come.
और केवल मेरे अनुरोध से आप आ गया,
And so if that
तो ना
task
आपकी
is not
संगति, ना हमारी
complete,
संगति।
and you come because I want you to come,
इसलिए
then I won't be at peace and you
राधा
won't
जी
be
ने
at
इतना ही
peace.
कहा दिया,
So Radhaji
ये
said,
देखो उद्धव,
look Uddhav,
तुम जा रहे हो हम लोग के विरह के दर्शन करके,
so you've seen,
हम जानते हैं।
Uddhav, you've seen our
तो
power
हम
of
लोग की विरह की
separation,
कथा जो है
but
कृष्ण के साथ
एक साथ
बोलना मत।
don't tell
हम जानते हैं
Krishna
कृष्ण के
how
शरीर इतने कोमल है,
much we are burning
हम
in
लोग की विरह
separation,
सुनते
because
ही वो शरीर छोड़ देंगे,
Krishna's
क्योंकि
body is
तथापि
so
तुम कृष्ण
soft
के
and listening to
अत्यंत
our
मित्र
separation, he
होने
will
के
leave his
नाते
body. But
तुम
we know
उस
you're
कथा
such a
को जो
close friend of Krishna, so
क्या
you
बोलते हैं,
will tell
छुपाओगे
him,
नहीं।
you won't hide it
हैं?
from him.
जो मित्र होते हैं
Those that are
हैं,
friends,
वो अपने मित्रों के निकट किसी कथा को वो छुपाते नहीं,
so
तुम
they don't
छुपाते नहीं,
actually
हमें
hide
भी पता
anything
है।
from their friends.
तो एक काम करो तुम,
So we know you won't hide it
कृष्ण
from
की
Krishna,
हम
but
लोग की जो विरह तुमने जो दर्शन किया
so
उस
what
कथा
you
को
have seen
थोड़ी
of our fire
बात
of
बता,
separation.
और जब देखोगे कृष्ण भावांतर होते जा रहे हैं,
So when you
मूर्छित होते
tell
जा रहे
Krishna,
हैं,
when you
कथा
can
दूसरी
tell
कथा प्रसंग
he's
बताना,
deep in emotions about to
अथवा
faint,
दूसरी रसों के द्वारा
then change
कृष्ण के जो
what
है
you are talking about. So change the
भावांतर करना,
direction.
भावांतर समझ लो,
What does
दूसरे
Bhavantar
भाव
mean?
में ले जाओ,
Take him into another mood.
और एक
Talk
ही
about
साथ में
something
यदि हम
else.
लोग की विरह की कथा सुन तो कृष्ण ध्यान कर नहीं पाएंगे। हम
If you
तुमने
tell
जो
Krishna
बताया
our
ये
Viraha
आपके विरह में कृष्ण
story, then he will not be able to tolerate.
गोपियाकारी है,
The gopis are saying,
तो करना देखो
look, they're saying,
गोपियाकारी है, दैन्य करके कारी है,
they're saying
हम
with
सब अपने शरीर को
humility,
धारण करके रखते हैं,
We've-
किंतु हम लोग के विरह की
we
कथा
are in this body
यदि
still.
कृष्ण के निकट बता दिया
But
जाए,
if you tell Krishna the fire of separation we are feeling, he will not be able to tolerate and will leave
अच्छा
his
तब
body.
क्या करें? तो राधा जी कार्य है,
So Radhaji
थोड़ी थोड़ी
saying,
करके श्रवण करें,
just tell
जिस
him,
प्रकार
just little bit by bit,
पुराना बुद्धड़ी जो है
just as you have
उसके
a
आजकल तो हो गया ना
old
डाइट
piece
में,
of cloth.
बोले उसके धोने के लिए आप पानी में डुबाया,
So to wash it, you put it into water
फिर
to clean
उससे
it,
जल निचोड़ने के लिए
and then to wring the water out.
कैसे करोगे? धीरे
Well, how will you do
धीरे
it?
हाथ से,
You will do it slowly, just slowly
और
wringing.
एक ही साथ में
taking the
यदि
water
वो
out.
पुराने वस्त्र खंड के यदि बुद्धड़ी पे यदि
If you do it all at once, taking,
तो वो क्या करेगा?
wringing the cloth really quickly, then it will actually rip.
कथा जो है
It will tear.
कृष्ण के एक साथ में वर्णन करना,
So in the same way, don't tell Krishna our Viraha
अपने भावों की
Katha.
बातें करती है,
So in this way, they are actually manifesting these moods.
ऐसे एक वस्तु है
So the separation
करना बहुत कठिन होता है।
is so difficult to tolerate.
विरह कोई साधारण वस्तु नहीं है,
Separation is not ordinary.
प्रकार की रस माधुर्य के आस्वादन होता है,
And there's so many mellows you can taste through separation. That's why Srila BV Vana is saying,
और विरह क्या करते हैं?
what's
एकता आदि करते हैं।
Viraha is dancing on the hoods of
जितने
Madhurya.
परिमाण विरह अनुभव करोगे, वो
So,
विरह
the,
अत्यंत रसनीय और स्वादिष्ट होगा।
so the more experience Viraha, the more tasteful it is.
यथा आगे देखो सही थे बस, जैसे वस्त्र की यदि क्या बोले डाल में यदि दिया जाए, रनिंग जल में यदि डाल दिया जाए,
So if you take a cloth and put it into fire, or
रनिंग धारण कर लेते हैं,
I'm sorry, into water, and you're trying to dye that. So if you put it in once, it will take on the color, but then as you put it in more often and keep putting it in, then it will deepen the color. So in the same way, Viraha, the more Viraha there is, the deeper the mood is, and then it will actually, the meeting will be more tasteful. So there are 4 types of Viraha and the 4 types of Milan. Purvarag, Man, Pravas, Aprem, Vichitte. And then Milan, Sankirna, Sankirna, Sampurna or Samriddhaman.
जुड़े हुए हैं।
So they are connected to viraha,
ये विरह के साथ जुड़े
to
हुए थे।
separation.
पूर्वराग के साथ
So with
पूर्वराग के
Purvarag,
बाद जो मिलन होता है,
so the meeting after Purvarag,
मान के बाद जो मिलन होता है,
so meeting after
मान
Man,
होने के बाद,
after Man is
और
broken,
प्रेम विचित्त के बाद, पूर्वराग मान प्रवास के बाद, और फिर
after Man Pravas, there's Prem Vijit. It's tasteful, the meeting is tasteful.
इसके रस आस्वादन जो है वो उसी प्रकार ही होता है।
So that's in that way you can taste
हम इस जगत में
the mellows
आचार्यपाद में
of
सदा
meeting.
सर्वदा प्राकृत नाट्य शास्त्र
Acharya Pad say
और प्राकृत नाट्य शास्त्र की तुलनामूलक जो है उन्होंने आलोचना की।
So they've said
क्योंकि जब आप इस जगत में काम कर रहे हो, प्राकृतिक जगत में रह रहे हो,
we are in this manifested
तो
world.
प्राकृतिक जगत में
So in this world, the moods,
और प्राकृतिक जगत के नाट्य के भाव में
the moods of the hero and heroine are very different to the moods of hero and heroine in the transcendental world.
हम पहले समझना चाहिए।
Okay, first we need to understand the
ये कहाँ पर है?
material world
प्राकृतिक जगत में।
moods of hero and heroine.
फल नहीं पा सकते।
So we can't actually just jump and take the fruit. We have to actually climb the tree.
चले ही नहीं है।
If we haven't even climbed the tree
फल को जो है पकड़ना शुरू
and
कर
we're
देते हैं।
trying to take hold of the fruit,
वो ठीक नहीं।
that's not right.
तात्पर्य क्या है?
What's the meaning of this?
अपने साथ इस जगत में हम जो देख रहे हैं
So whatever we see in this world between a hero and heroine,
प्राकृतिक जो नायक नायिका में है ये सब दिखा दे रहा है।
so this is what they show between hero and heroine in this world.
प्राकृतिक जगत में नायक नायिका में
And in the
लागू नहीं हो रहा है।
transcendental world,
इसलिए कहते हैं मैं सदा सर्वदा यही कहते हूँ प्राकृतिक जगत में प्राकृतिक नाट्य शास्त्र में
in Bhagavad Natta Shastra, so in this world,
प्राकृतिक भाव नहीं दिखा रहे।
they don't show
सौख्य में जो विरह
Paragita
और
Bhav.
पारख्य में विरह
Sakya, husband, wife, Viraha, and Parakya, Viraha, and meeting in Sakya and meeting in Parakya are very different moods. So in Sakya meeting, just as if the husband has gone far away somewhere, and then the wife will feel separation, that husband isn't there. And then when he returns back home, then there is meeting. But in the transcendental world, the Paragita is the topmost. So this mood is only in the gopis. That's why in Dwarika, Vaikuntha, Paragita is not there. Parakya Bhava So this is not present anywhere but in Vraj. So this is only in the heart of the Sakhis. Just as they have their moods, Karnika, Aurora, there are many types of activities. So just as there are different moods and different, so in gopis, the speciality is so Yogmaya protects those gopis. So let alone seeing, but they won't even touch them. So Yogmaya creates a shadow, just as Chaya Sita was created. So Ravan thought this is Sita. In the same way, Yogmaya, she creates. So in front of the Vrajagopas, she creates this shadow of the gopis. So they think this is my wife. She's at home. So sometimes what happens is for Radha ji, you don't need to make her a shadow
पत्नी जो
of her murti,
किसी
because
काम से जो है
in
वो दूसरे के घर में
Yogmaya
गई।
creates in the heart of the Gopa that my wife has gone to, for some reason, she's gone to she's gone somewhere for some reason, such as before, to actually cook, they used to have fire. So somebody hasn't got fire, they will go to get fire from somewhere. So usually there's always a fire burning in the house, and it's fragrant, and there's always light in the house with that. Because the Vrajvasi's houses, they are made out of big mud walls, and there's only one door. So it's very dark in there. So to get rid of the darkness, so what do the Vrajvasis do in their house? They have a ghee lamp. So for some reason, if that deepak, if that light has gone out and they need fire, so what do? So then they go to somebody's house and get some more fire. So their husbands are thinking that our wife has gone to somebody's house for some reason to get some fire. She's just about to come now. So this is created in their hearts. So listening to Krishna's flute, those gopis, they go. So there are many types of gopis. There's sadhana siddha, nitya siddha, sutichari, munichari. Many types of gopis. So Radhaji's gopis are not stopped. Why are they not being stopped? So Yogmaya has created in the hearts of their husbands that, oh, she's just about to come, she's just gone to the neighbor. So nobody stops them from going. So the Munichari and Shutichari gopis, so if they haven't had association with Nitya, so they don't have deep attachment with Krishna. So what does Yogmaya do for them? She stops them. So what happens when they're stopped? So those gopis that Sutichari Munichari are not able to go, and then they have such eagerness to meet with Krishna. So with that eagerness, Yogmaya then arranges. So in Venu Gita it said that Krishna directly met with them, the gopi, and when coming out of the kunja, and then so there's some kumkum on Krishna's feet from the breasts of the gopis, and so Krishna's gone. So on the grass, and in the morning, the Pulindi girl, so the kumkum, the red vermilion powder, she takes, and there's so much power in there. Who's saying this? Radhaji is saying it herself. Radhaji is saying.
स्वयं अपने
So,
भक्त स्तर की
what is kumkum?
हाँ।
It's the kumkum from the breasts of Radhaji.
पूर्ण पुलिंद उरुगाय पदाब्जराग श्री कुमकुमेन द्वैता स्तनमण्डितेन तद्दर्शन स्मररूज तृणवृषेषु लिम्पन् अनोन कोचेषु जो सदाभिः। बहुत सुंदर श्लोक बता दे।
It's a beautiful shloka.
कल देखो अब वास्तव में राधा जी क्या बोलना चाहती है?
So what is Radhaji wanting to say?
अपने भावों के गोपन करके
She's hiding her own moods
आरोप करने के नाम है
and
अवहिता भाव का।
opposing
देखो हमारे
moods, so this is avidya bhav. So in my heart there's not so much love, but look at the love in the heart of this Pulindi girl. So in the morning she takes that kumkum from the grass and the moods that manifest in her heart. So prem actually increases humility. So prem is also called humility. So the more humble somebody is, and that's how much prem is increased. So Mahaprabhu says this verse about humility. They say, oh, I haven't got this. Krishna. In Venugit it says in separation there are 5 types of Geet. There's Venugit. You forget the sequence. Venugit is first. Pranay Geet second. Gopi Geet third. Jugal Geet fourth, and then Brahmar Geet. This is the sequence. So some scholars, people also accept another Geet when Krishna sat on the chariot of a guru when he was going to go to Mathura. When the message had reached, even though Krishna still in Vrindavan, but Nanda Maharaj announced that tomorrow morning Krishna and Balaram, they will sit on a cruise rath and they will go to Mathura. Only it has been announced. Krishna hasn't left yet. Just listening to this, the gopis started to feel separation. This is called Bhavi Viraha. There's Bhavi Viraha, Bhavan Viraha, Bhavar Viraha.
जितने आप गभीर में प्रवेश करेंगे उतना ही वो आगे है। बहुत सुंदर कथा होता है।
Beautiful katha there.
जब नंद महाराज
So at that time,
ऐलान कर दिया,
Nanda Maharaj just announced
प्रातः काल में
that tomorrow morning Krishna and Balaram will sit on a guru's chariot and go towards Mathura. And then just listening to this, there was so much separation in the hearts of the gopis. So through these 2-3 shlokas, they are expressing this Bhavi Viraha, then there's Bhavan Viraha, then there's Bhavya Viraha. This is also written. So when Krishna sat on a guru's chariot and went towards Mathura, at that time the gopis, they stopped the chariot and they lay down and said, we must go over our bodies first, destroy our bodies, we will not be able to tolerate being without Krishna. So early in the morning, all the gopis, they
हमें मार दो,
They all lay down and said, "You must kill us first."
ये तो दिखाते जा रहे हैं।
This is what they're showing.
अभी इसे करता है भावन विरह, जो
This is Bhavan Viraha.
सत्यजानी विरह हो गया,
It's going
इसे
on
कहा
now.
जाता है भावन विरह।
Bhavan
और
Viraha.
भाव्य विरह उसे कहा
And
जाता है
Bhavya Viraha
जो
is that.
अतीत हो गया।
So it's now in the
कृष्ण वृंदावन
past.
से मथुरा गए,
So Krishna went from Vrindavan to
और मथुरा से
Mathura.
जब द्वारका चले गए,
And when he went from Mathura to
पूर्ण
Dwarika,
रूप से जो है निराश हो गए।
and then completely they were so upset, the gopis, when he'd gone to Dwarika, because Mathura is not very far from Vrindavan, and Dwarikapuri is so far away. It's on the edge of the ocean. So it was very, the hopes of Krishna returning is very low. So when they went from Mathura to Vrindavan, Vrindavan to Mathura, the boundaries just, so he could come easily from Mathura, but he didn't come. What did Krishna do? He sent a messenger. So in that Brahma Git, Radha ji is really suffering in separation. It says there's some Yogini, Viyogini Radha. It says Viyogini Radha is in Uddhav Kyari. So this Viyogini Radha, when she is suffering in this separation and seeing this bumblebee, thinking of him as a messenger of Krishna. Through this word Kachit, Radhiji is Srimati Radhika is seeing Krishna acting out his loving pastimes with the other ladies. So just to break my man, he has not come himself, he has sent a messenger. So in some commentaries it does actually say that that bumblebee is actually Krishna himself. There are many commentaries. So the bumblebee is there, and at that time Uddhav also arrived. So he's offering his obeisances from afar, and at that time, at Brahma, he went to sit on Radhaji's lotus feet. So Radhaji's, they have such beautiful fragrance of a lotus flower. So it's the nature of a Brahma where there's beautiful fragrance and there are blooming lotuses, to actually taste those lotuses and go and sit there. So Radhaji is thinking of this bumblebee as Krishna and has started to speak. So what is being said, Sukdev Goswami is saying, through 10 shlokas is talking about Radhaji's viraha. Through 10 shlokas. What they say? What do they say? The 10 shlokas. Jalpa, Ajalpa, Ajalpa, Ajalpa. They all being said. And there's Chitra Jal Katha too. Jalpa, Ajalpa. So these moods are expressed in these shlokas. We know Radhaji saying
समता किसमें है? तुम्हारे मित्र के साथ है।
You are
तुम भी काले हो,
equal to your
वो भी
friend. You are black and he is also black.
किताब शब्द का छठ छल कपट के तुम मित्र हो।
So you are the friend, you are a cheater and your friend is a cheater. You cheated us.
ये केवल उनके ये वचन जो केवल
His words.
है दूसरे से अपने माने क्या बोलते हैं वस्तु प्राप्ति करने के लिए
So just to obtain from the other person, people just use crooked words, such as an example. There's this crow. He obtained this beautiful piece of paneer, and then he flew on top of a tree and sat there. At that time, a fox came, and he saw that the crow had a paneer piece. So the fox started to think, how will I take this paneer piece? And then the fox started to say, oh, you're so beautiful, to the crow. And your voice is so sweet. Even though you look black, there are many good qualities. They're beautiful. Your eyes are beautiful, your nose is suitable, and the sound of your voice is so beautiful. So the fox is saying, for many days I've been wanting to listen to your beautiful voice. So then the crow was really happy and his chest expanded. He's puffed up. So when someone hears their glories, so the crow heard his own glories and he started to crow. And as he started to crow, ka ka, then the paneer fell out of his mouth. So the crow kept crowing, and then the fox took the paneer and left. Just to obtain what he wanted to. So he's glorifying the other. Dadaji is saying, you're the friend of a cheater. We know about him. You've come from him, haven't you? So who's listening to this? Uddhav's listening to this. So if you're Krishna's messenger, what should you do? You should. So I should touch the lotus feet of my Swamini. And Radhaji saying, oh, you fool. If you had these good qualities, you would touch my feet, but your friend tried to touch my feet many times. So we know about him. So she's not saying Krishna, but she's talking about Krishna, Radhaji. You're just as bad as Krishna, she's saying. So you taste the different rasas from the flowers. You're not attached to one flower, you're always moving around to different flowers.
फिर दूसरी फूल, तीसरी फूल,
then your second flower, the third flower. From morning to night, you're always moving around to different flowers. We know. I know. It's in Divya Anumadani Dasha. So she's saying, don't touch my feet. He's saying, why? Why shouldn't I touch them? He's saying, oh, you don't understand, you fool. One is a fool. And so your friend is a fool, and you're the friend of a fool. You're even more of a fool. How many feet do you have? So a bumblebee is called a Shatapati. They have 6 feet. So humans have 2 feet. So apart from human being, they have 4 feet. Animals, and they're called a fool. And you have 6 feet. The more feet someone has, is the more foolish they are. So this is what Radha ji is saying in Brahma Anumadasha. Just listen carefully. You've drank so much alcohol. Do you not have any shame? Brahma is saying, no, alcohol, touching alcohol is far away. I don't even go near anything where there's any dirty, like such as a fly goes to dirty things, and then a bee goes to beautiful flowers, and then a bumblebee goes only to lotus flowers. So there are 3. There's a fly, a bee, and a bumblebee. So a fly will go. If you have a sweet or you have a stool, where will that fly sit? It will sit on the stool first, and then that fly will come onto the sweet. And the bee will only sit on particular flowers, and the bumblebee will only sit on the lotus flower. So this they are saying, I am a bumblebee. I'm not a fly, I'm not a bee. I'm a bumblebee. So I'm trying to sit on your beautiful lotus feet, saying, Raj is saying, oh, you fool, don't you understand? I have to speak more. Radha is saying, your head is spinning. You've drank too much alcohol. Saying, so when someone is actually drunk, there's the head spinning more and they're making so much noise, saying, oh, you fool, how much alcohol have you drunk? He's saying, no, I haven't drunk any alcohol. So even thinking about alcohol, I have to take hold of my ears. So Radha ji saying, you say, tell me what's on your moustache. Why is there some kumkum on your moustache? You have given me example, proofs. Radha ji saying, you fool. Your master, she's not taking the name of Krishna. You're being a spy for him. First, you should at least dress properly. You understand? What's on your mouth is kumkum. Where has this kumkum come from? Do you know? Your Prabhu. There are many beautiful ladies there. And to break their man, he gives them a garland, and then you went into their mala, and then you've put kumkums on there, and now you're showing me. So I'm seeing this and it's making me even more angry. You don't have any knowledge about how to so you come to show me this? You fool, just go away. Just seeing you, I'm even more angry. You are a fool, just go. So then the Brahma said, so what you're seeing in my moustache is actually from birth. And when we sit down, our head is not spinning, but when we fly, the head is spinning. So how beautiful this mood is. This is called Brahma Gita. There's 10 types of moods. There's Venu Gita and then Brahma Gita.
अभी तो भ्रमर गीत के थोड़ा हम समय नहीं बताया.
So we're saying a little bit about Brahma Gita.
वेणु गीत के बाद एक सारे गीत में क्या है विरह की दिखा रहे हैं.
So in all these Gits they're showing about separation, viraha. So these 5 Gits I've told you, they're showing separation.
ये मुझे प्राप्ति कैसे हो?
How will I obtain?
ये विरह में हावदास ऐसी सुंदर वस्तु में कैसे प्राप्ति हो? दीवारात्र उसी के लिए तड़पते रहते हैं.
They are just
विरह की गई.
really eager. Until we have separation, we will not be able to obtain such a rare thing. We need to have separation. So someone who has money is able to eat well and drink well. Someone who doesn't have wealth and doesn't have enough money for food or rice, they don't have clothes. They are just suffering in that way. So these 5 Gits, Venu Gita, Pranay Gita, Gopi Gita, Jugal Gita, and Brahma Gita, they are called Pancha Pran. So everything is, they are not ordinary, they are all connected with the flute, the Venu. They are all connected with the Venu. So they're showing separation.
मिलन के पहले पूर्वराग होता है जैसे एक होता है साधारण ना जाने के दोनों.
So before meeting there is purvarag.
नाट्य शास्त्र में नायक नायिका
साधारण नाट्य शास्त्र.
एक दूसरे के साथ मिलने के लिए जो उत्कंठित होता है.
Meeting there is this eagerness that is called purvarag. And in the transcendental world, after meeting, there is again eagerness to meet, that is also called purvarag. So this is, just remember this. So to understand this, we first need to understand the moods of the hero and heroine of this world. Do you understand? In this world, so according to Natya Shastra, so in transcendental world, this Purvarag, Parya is Parakya Bhav. In this world, there is no Parakita Bhav. In this world, Parakita Bhav is not accepted. It's frowned upon. However, in the transcendental world, it is actually respect. It's over here, such as Uddhav is paying his obeisances. So, such as when they met Krishna when they were young, And they used to meet Krishna, but as they got older, then they were like, you're not allowed to meet. So in our culture, when a young boy and girl are playing together, but then when they reach youth, then the parents say, you're not allowed to play together now because you're older, because otherwise society won't accept this. So when the gopis were young, they used to meet Krishna. It was very difficult to be separated from Krishna for a moment. Only in the night, when Krishna used to go to sleep, that's when they used to be separated. But when these gopis became older, Bala, Poganda, Kishora, when they entered, there's 3 types of Kishora. There's 3 types of youth. So their parents started saying it's not acceptable. So their moods to meet Krishna are never ending, because Krishna, Haladini Shakti, Radharani. So there is fire and the heat of the fire, you cannot separate them. So even though they may be separate, but they're not separate. So for example, if there's fire here, the heat of the fire will go to quite a point. But in the same way, the example, so Radha Krishna separation. So Yogamaya showed the gopis getting married. So it showed Radhaji and the gopis getting married. If they hadn't been married, they would not have had this deep attachment to Krishna, lover and beloved mood. That's why they showed them getting married. Srila Jiva Goswami says that actually they didn't get married. So the gopis' mother and father saw in the dreams that, oh, our daughters have married these gopas. So then they believe that they are married to them, and then they go to their house. Only 6-7-year-old little girls. What do they know about what is marriage? What do they know about marriage? They don't know. So they just say, oh, go on, stay in that person's house. So then they come back to their parents' home and they go back. So in the same way in this world, what happens after marriage? You go to your in-laws, then you come to your parents' house, and then they don't know what wedding is, marriage is. So Yogamaya really protects the Nitya Siddha gopis. So they cannot, Gopa cannot touch them. So Yogamaya protects them. So Srila Vishnu Chakravarti says,
न तो तलपन माने उनकी घर में जो क्या बोलते हैं तलमन बिस्तर
in their house,
उस गृह में भी उनके पतिदेव की प्रवेश भी
where they stay, their husband is not allowed to enter. They just know that they are married to this gopi. Yogamaya keeps their husbands so busy in work that they have no time to think. They wake up in the morning, they go to tend the cows, get the cow dung, etc. And then in the evening they are tired, they come back home. They don't know anything about their wives. So beautiful. You sit with me, you'll be going on all night. कहीं करना.
सब इसमें लेना है सब, इतना सहज नहीं.
It's not so easy.
हाँ
लीला पता सुना तो भूल जाएगा.
अब कथा हो रही कि नीचे नीचे नहीं. अरे चल